Alright, back here on the Craftsman tractor as is to working machine project, and today I'm going to try to figure out, I got the deck off for repairs on another video. Now I can get at the steering linkages, or maybe try to figure out what's going on with the steering. Whether it shows up on the camera well or not, I don't know, but both tires are pointing to the outward direction. And this has caused whoever was using this tractor a lot of grief, because he's now got bald tires. This one's pointing out a little, and this one's pointing out a lot. So it seems like we got a problem where they're just towed out real bad. I'm going to try to figure out why that is. If the steering linkages are if they're bent. If the spindle is bent in the front here, or the steering rods, which appear to be non-adjustable, at least on this end, are bent. Don't know. Could be the spindle itself. Could be a lot of things. So I'm going to try to investigate, because I'm not putting new tires on this tractor, or new used tires, and this is going to happen again. Plus, it doesn't steer very well at all with these things pointing in opposite directions, or not opposite, but slightly opposing directions. Okay, so I'm underneath the tractor here, and the way this works is we got this steering shaft that comes down. This is what your steering wheel is attached to on the top. It comes down to this gear. This gear has a rack. I gotta assume this is a pinion and this is a rack. It's not really a rack because it's curved, but I guess it's still kind of a rack and pinion setup. Trying to get you to see that. And as you turn the steering wheel, the wheel turns, and then each one goes back and forth. Now here's what I'm noticing. These don't appear to be bent either up or down on either side. Here's the other steering rod. The light's kind of washing it out. Here's the other rod. They're not adjustable on either side, so I can't make one shorter and fix it that way. And the fact that it appears the problem must be at the wheel or the wheel spindle. These parts just go down here in a fixed length. There's no adjusting back and forth like on some of these. Some models might have an adjustment here where you can make that longer or shorter. The other thing that could happen is these could be bent, but they look fairly equal. I mean, everything's going to have a bend in it because that's just the way it's made. It's got to clear that wheel when you go to turn. This wheel comes in. It's got to have that kick in it. Both kicks look equal, so I don't think that's the problem. I got to do more investigating here. Okay, back underneath the tractor. What I did notice is this one is angled down a little bit. That one is angled back a little bit. That is bent up front there. Let me hop out of here. And the fact that all this metal is bent back, like this mower ran down a hill into something real hard, makes me think that these spindles, that the spindles that hold the wheels are all bent backwards on both sides, and that may be related to this damage, which I thought was just minor, but possibly this thing hit something freewheel speed. So I'm thinking what we have to replace is they go down through the top. It's a metal rod, it goes down, it's this whole piece, and the piece that goes and holds the wheel on. I think if we replace those, that's what's bent on this machine, is both sides of these. Am I pointing? Both sides of these are bent backwards because it ran and hit something really fast, or a car bumped into it, or I have no idea how stuff gets like this, but that's what I'm suspecting. So we're going to go replace those and go for that repair and see if we got the right stuff. Alright, so I got to put a little jack underneath there on the front end there. Got the both sides off the ground at the same time. And I'm just going to start taking this out. Now this one just got a clip on it. Just remove the clip, and this one slides out. A couple of washers. Now, if you got a lot of junk on the outside of your rim like I do, you might have to give it a little treatment with a pair of pliers or some file, whatever it takes to get that dirt off enough to get it so you can get the wheel to slip by. There we go. Now we got a better look at our spindle. And the next thing we got to do is get this dust cap off. Actually, better yet, while I still got it supported decent, I'm going to take the nut off the bottom. You got to kind of hold these from the top. That's a 1/2 inch. Down there it's probably like 9/16. Yep. I'm going to use a mini impact just to make it easy. And it won't even budge. Start it with the regular socket. Yeah. Got it loose. Now I'm going to go with the tool. Let me get my hand out of your way. Now if I can get this. Good. Save your hardware. Yuck. Alright, now we got our spindle. This one's pretty loose in there. A lot of times these seize up over time on certain other models because they don't have this cap on there. This has a grease fitting, which is a pretty wise idea. And this has got the heavy duty cast iron. They like it so much they write it on there, cast iron. So you're proud when you own that machine, I guess. I don't know. But in this case, it is a pretty good system they got going here. I'm just going to try to pry that cap out. It's been sun-baked for how many years? Try to work it around. I'm mutilating the cap. There we go. We got that off. Now, let me excavate a little and see what kind of a system we're running here. Some kind of retaining ring. I gotta get some paper towels and do this right. Okay, what I think I'm looking at is another ring like this, the E ring or C ring or D ring or whatever the heck they call it. That's what I think's in there, yeah. Oh, this one's gonna come out nice. Got that. The washer goes on top of it. And this one literally dropped right out. Wow, that's like the easiest one I've ever done. And that wasn't the camera trick. Let's see if there's a washer at the bottom we want to reuse, or if that's just the surface of the yeah, I think that's just part of the spindle. Okay, I'll match this up. Actually, it's marked L. Hopefully the new one's marked L. and that'll make it easy to quickly figure out which one. And ladies and gentlemen, the new one is actually marked L. Make it easy for me, will ya? If that was rusty in there, like they oftentimes are, I would, you can take a drill, tape a piece of paper towel on there, or sandpaper, or whatever you got to do, get it clean, and then of course get all the sand out when you're done. But in this case, this one is unusually greased up and in good condition, so we'll leave it ride. And this, now I don't like the amount of space that's here. I may put a washer at the bottom there. I'm going to take another look at this. Okay, I took another look at the old spindle, and there was one washer on there at the bottom where I thought, where I was scraping at it, there actually was a washer. It was so thinned out and so scraped that I could barely tell it was even a washer anymore. So what I'm going to try to do is get something out of this kit. These are called machinery bushings, 14 gauge medium by Handy Check, not a sponsor. And I'm going to see if I can find something, because a regular washer is going to have, you're going to have a difficult time finding anything with that inside diameter. Actually, that's a perfect shot right there. So I'm going to put that one on the bottom. You should really give it something to glide on, something for the grease to go on, rather than just wearing out the base. That way, you know, it's just got a double surface there, double thick. So let's put this one in. The top one is only there for retaining. The weight's always going to be pushing because your wheel's pushing up, obviously. So it's not that critical. Put our clip back on. There is still a little slop there. Not quite sure why. Probably this thing fits, this spindle probably fits 30 different models, and I could see I put it on wrong because it's pointing inward. Whoops. That's looking a little better. Alright, now that I've got something to hold it, I'm going to put the lock washer back there. This is a piece of rubber. Mine has broken off. I think that just kind of helps take some of the slop out of it. Helps keep it from flopping around. You might have found a washer that would fit that, but I just went right for the bushings because I know they're heavy duty. Okay, back on the spindle again. So I've got that nut tightened up for the steering arm. I noticed on the inside of the wheel, on these Craftsmans anyway, this is greasable. So the good news is we can re-lubricate this at any time, but it did not have any, on the old one, did not have any bushing there. So I'm going to see if we have enough space. I'm going to leave that in there because we did have, somebody looked like they might have shimmed it at one time. They have 3 outer washers, which seems to be unusual, having none on the inside. So I'm going to try one of those in there. Put the wheel back on. Actually, before I put the wheel back on, I'm going to try to go up here and get this cap back on. Okay, so I put one machine bushing in there, and let's see if this will give us enough room Oh yeah, we got plenty of room still here. What you want, you want to have enough room there for, you know, at least another one, and then your clip too. You don't want to have to clip as the rotate. You don't want the wheel rotating against the clip. You'll just wear it out. So we'll put these back. Put the best looking one toward the wheel. Maybe one more. There, you want to leave a little bit of room there. These aren't supposed to be tight against the clip. There's no reason for that. Alright. And then, was there a dust cap on this? I can't remember. No, I don't think there was a dust cap on the outside, but oftentimes there is a dust cap covering this, keeping the grease and keeping the stuff from getting in there. Yeah, actually this one didn't have a dust cap because that's why the dirt was on there, but oftentimes they have a cap much like the one on the top, which just kind of rubberized cap that goes on there, but this one will be fine. It's got a greasable spindle, so I'll grease everything up now that we got the new stuff in there. Grease the let me turn the wheel here. I'll grease this right here and the one at the wheel, and we'll be good to go. These tires obviously still need replacement, but we'll do the other side. Okay, now I'm back here on the right side, and we're going to do the same process, and let's see what this one wants to give us. This clip's coming off pretty well. This one only has 2 washers here. Again, probably have to clean up that surface a little bit. A little bit more than a little bit. There we go. And again, this one does have on the inside a bushing, so that's going to go back. Actually, I'll probably just put our new one on there because I have it. See if we can mutilate this cap as good as we did on the other side. I mean remove. And I'm sure these would be available new if we were really that savvy, but it's not that critical to me. Take the clip off the top. Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to put that back in there. Yeah, it's holding. I got to get this nut off while it's got some support. It's kind of, if you were to try to get that out once you take the spindle off, it's probably going to be more difficult. And that one's on there pretty good too. Too much for my mini impact. Just get it started, then use the power tools. And that's fine. Got that out. Turn the wheel a little so I can get it free. Ah, it'll fall right out actually when I get the spindle coming down. Came off pretty easy. This bushing here has ridden up over the years. Doesn't matter the height on the top. The height on the bottom is the one that sets the ride height of the mower. Okay, we'll get the new spindle. I'm going to find the machine bushing like we did for the other one. Put one down there. Let's see if this one did have, yeah, it did have one there. Let me show you how thin these got over the years. They're completely worn out. I didn't even think the other one had one because I couldn't get a hold of it with the look at that. That's like, I don't know if that shows up on camera very well, but that's like ridiculous thin. It's pretty much useless. It's already gotten, it's not even all there. So I'm going to put a nice new thick one in there in just a minute. Okay, back here to the spindle. Can't remember where I left off. Got called away for a minute. Sorry about the noise in the background. Anyway, I'm going to put another machine bushing just like I did on the other side. Except I'm working on the wrong part. Over here, that is. Put that up through. This time I'll make sure it's pointing out the right direction. It is. Pour a washer back. Even though this one's greasy, I want to use it because it's not all pitted up like the other one is. 2 washers, too much. Nope, didn't have it all the way up. 2 washers are good. Put this back. There we go. Got a minimum of play on that one. That's good. Back to down here. Put the steering arm linkage back in there. Lock washer. There we go. And just like the other side, the little rubber thing is basically falling off, but I'll leave it on there just for show, just for looks, just for good looks. Alright, try to get this cap back on there. I ended up cracking the other side a little bit, getting it back on. It's a little hardened. I'm sure they're available new if you were really interested, but not that big of a deal. And I cracked it. So now it's really, yeah, turn it that way. You can't even tell. Look at that. Alright. Let me get the wheel put back. Now again, I want to put a machine bushing in the back so it's not rubbing directly on this, so the wheel is not rubbing directly on that. Put the side with the grease fitting. You probably could flip these wheels anyway, but one way you want to, I like the valve stems out. Some people put them in so they don't catch on tree branches and stuff, but this one's designed so the grease fittings on the inside. And actually it did have, did I already see that? It had one on the inside, but I'm putting a new one. Actually, that one is so small. I'm going to put the one I put new and theirs and give it a double chains there. And then we'll put our whatever they had here. And again, this is supposed to have another one of those caps like the top, but it's long gone. And there we go. So now let's see if the steering lines up. If those were bent, or if I just replaced them for no reason at all. And I think we got a win. Let me turn that just a little bit. Trying to get it straight. Also, let me put that back down on the ground, because that might make a difference in how it looks also. Always use the proper tools for your jack. Okay, now we got it sitting on the ground, and it looks like we did the right repair. Both of those wheels are now pointing in the forward direction and not splayed out to the sides as they were. In another video we'll try to see if we can find some used wheels off of something. These ones are pretty universal with MTD, Craftsman, Yardman, you know, all the different brands that interchange. It's a pretty good chance we're going to be able to find some used ones instead of having to replace the ones we have. Alright, that's how we get the steering and alignment, if you will, back to normal on this Craftsman tractor. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, if you can subscribe to the channel, give me some likes, and if you want to support me, if you can jump on the link down below in the description for Patreon. Also, I have several links to Amazon, and that really helps out the channel too. Thanks for watching.